Okay, so I decided to do a commentary for this one. It's Edmontosaurus, and it's my horror archetypes and also hybrid. I start out every time I do these with a memory versus reference piece, and I was drawing Edmontosaurus annectens, the later species, I think, the one that coexisted with Tyrannosaurus rex and might not have had the comb. It was Regalis that was found with the comb preserved, and this is just my favorite species of the two and the one that I remember how to draw better because I think I've drawn it more times. And I was just drawing an Edmontosaurus for a client, so I had a pretty good grasp of it. I always kind of mess up the hips on non-theropod dinosaurs because I just can't really remember how to do them, but I'm getting better at it from memory. So this is mostly muscle memory and color scheme being more or less from Saurian. I decided to do color on this one. Usually they're just grayscale because it's hard to remember a specific color scheme. And now going into the one where I'm referencing a skeletal reconstruction and some muscle reconstruction along with skin from another artist and scientist. I always kind of trace over the memory version to keep them in the same pose so it's a more direct comparison. Again, using Saurian color scheme, but this time referencing it so it's a little bit more accurate to it. I think it's based on scale size and whether or not that correlates to skin color. The lizard is just to have, I don't know, better splotches, if I remember right. It's always satisfying to see him at the end compared. This one was fairly close. Okay, and now for the hybrid. I was mixing the two Edmontosaurus species together and then with Tyrannosaurus. Because I like to do this predator-prey thing, but I mean, I don't think that Regalis got predated on by Tyrannosaurus, but I wanted to include the comb. First I do just a flat profile view so I know what I'm drawing before I start going into perspective, and then I was playing around with a different idea because Anatosaurus being duck lizard, the old name for Edmontosaurus annectens, or common name, but I didn't end up going with it because I ran a Twitter poll and more people voted for the T-Rex hybrid. So here I am scribbling it in perspective, using models as reference to get the perspective better because I'm just not good at making it up as I go. And refining my sketch, mixing the different features, staying pretty close to my side view. But I have the mouth opened in this version so you can see the teeth. And I don't know if that would be the way to show teeth and beak. Probably not, but it's like a Jurassic World style hybrid, so it can be wonky. I figured since hadrosaurs could rear up, and T-Rex is so very small-armed and bipedal that this thing could be bipedal too. And then I add the color scheme and the shading, and it all goes pretty quick. It's just me scribbling with my iPad on these. I really like Procreate's time-lapse feature, because I don't have to think about if I want to record or not, it just does. I think I drew this on Christmas Eve, so it's kind of Santa Claus, except it doesn't have, you know, like Tyrannosaurus claws, so I can't really make that joke. But I did give it a bit of a Santa hat for the comb. Not too many people noticed his little fancy hat. I think right then's when I decided it's gonna be a red hat. Could be a highlight, or it could be like a little poof ball on top, like a Santa hat. Alright, now getting into the horror archetypes. I'm starting with the modern one. It's based on Regalis, and I think I was in the shower when I thought I should make it a brain. That comb is a brain now. So it's heavily inspired by Resident Evil, and then all the different depictions of Edmontosaurus that I have along the sides, but it's mostly just straight up Edmontosaurus Regalis without being too pop culture inspired, other than Resident Evil. Usually the pop culture inspiration comes out in the color scheme most. I ask for people's favorite pop culture depiction of dinosaurs on Twitter, and then those are the ones that usually end up in the mix of inspiration for these videos. Oh yeah, so I made it eyeless, except it also has an eye in the stomach. It migrated there to the side. Its overall theme is body horror. Modern body horror. And then we have the one that's based on Anectons, and it's a little bit more Jurassic Parky, but not really. The Iolashantungosaurus is one of the inspirations that I leaned into fairly heavily. And it's just, you know, a bruiser, it's a fighter. It's kind of like a dino damage theme, so I just say it's 2000s creature feature more than anything. It's a little bit more crocodilian. It ripped an arm off of a Tyrannosaur and it's eating it. Some supplemental nutrition. Color scheme is a mix of things. Pop culture, as usual. I like my white highlights. It's quick shorthand for lighting without having to go into depth. That's another one down. And then we're going into the Retrosaur, which is basically Trachodon. Going really far back there, and a little bit of reference to all the different toys that the herbivores had sharp teeth anyway. And movie monsters, and it's just as retro as I can make it, and as off-putting little hands as I could give it. I resisted my urge to give it modern claw count or the hoof nail thing at all, like the spade inner one and the hoof shaped nail. It's not really a hoof, but it's a nail. I didn't do that. I gave it little fingers, little plodding fingers, little lizard boy. little off-putting lizard boy, duck face, weirdo. The retrosaurs are really fun because I don't have to worry about anatomy being at all correct. I can just vibe. Make it as inaccurate as possible, but still look more or less like the animal. And here they all are together, giving them little shadows. And I hope you liked my video. I'll be doing Pteranodon next. Let me know if you like my commentary. Don't let me know if you don't like it, because I already don't like talking. I'll make another video without commentary, though, if you all hate it enough. Thanks.